The fancy meal I'd give anything to have again. The first meal he ever made for me and my little brother, who was like my son, was fancy and homemade in my husband's eyes. A big plate of noodles, an even bigger pile of ground beef, and a jar of ragu, his homemade spaghetti sauce. I loved cooking from scratch, and my little brother was a strict chicken fingers and fries kid, so we both struggled through it. In the future, he would cook or assemble it, and others at the table knew it wasn't strictly homemade, but he still referred to it as his homemade recipe. But he was so proud of that meal. He genuinely thought he was making something special for us, and no matter how often I teased him about it, he never stopped calling it his famous homemade spaghetti. It became a running joke, one of those little things that made us, and now I'd give anything to have that plate of noodles in front of me again, to hear him laugh when I called him a chef, to watch him pile way too much ground beef on his plate while acting like he was at a 5-star restaurant. Grief does that. It turns the things we once laughed about into what we miss the most. What's one meal that will always remind you of someone you love?